Greetings, sir and sirettes, and welcome back to From the Depths with me, Alathrix, and of course, welcome to a very special update. Welcome to the April Fool's Update 2020, which is, well, off to a very colourful start. The Grey Talons themselves in this update have been changed to be a lot more vibrant, and are now even called the Pink Talons, so their fleet colours have been altered, and this applies to every single one of their vehicles. A little bit painful on the eyes, but at least they look a bit more cheery than usual. But this really isn't the main thing. The main thing this year is that apparently the theme was Marauders. Marauders being, in my opinion, one of the most famous of all the vehicles in From the Depths. It is simple, it is a great test vehicle, and apparently everything is now Marauders. I've had a very quick look at some of these, but what we're going to be doing to make this a bit more interesting is rather than just spawning them in, having a quick look, we are going to be fighting them against each other in order to find out which Marauder is the best Marauder. Now, we do even have a Submarine, we have the Marauder Ravager, which is an airship, we have the Heli-Marauder. You get the idea, there are a lot of them to go through. So we're going to have a very quick look at each of them, fight them against each other, and then see which is the best. Just taking a look at the regular... Actually, no. Is that a particle cannon? So apparently even the regular Marauder has been altered. Yep, that is very expensive. So, apparently the regular Marauder has a particle cannon. And this will be fighting against the Ram Marauder. The Ram Marauder. Which has a... well, it has a ram on the front, and it has jets on the back. So, be right back with the very first fight. Here we go with the first fight. I feel like I'm going to have to edit these down quite a bit depending on how fast they go towards each other. An explosive shot there from the particle cannon, not doing all that much though. But it seems like the turning of the Ram Marauder is not the best, though if this does make contact, it is likely just outright going to win. Never mind! Wow, did not see that coming. So apparently the regular Marauder also has very, very deadly lasers, which has completely taken out the drill of the front of the Ram Marauder and most of its engine. So, I'm gonna just say it, the clear winner here is the regular Marauder. May take a while to finish off though. Okay, I've got to see inside this thing. This must be just like one giant engine. Oh my god, yep, just engine and laser. That is the entirety of this. Oh, okay, yeah, so it's using the new short-range version of the laser combiners. Very cool indeed. Okay, the Marauder goes through. So next it'll be the way too much Marauder versus the small Marauder. This is going to be a silly fight, and you'll see why in just a few seconds. The way too much Marauder is quite literally 3 Marauders just attached to each other. And then there's this little thing. How did they get one of these so small? I don't even know. Can it even turn? I think so. This will be an interesting fight. It's got a tiny little simple cannon. It can definitely turn, and may even get the first shot if it can aim. Really, this is a bit of a cruel fight. All missing though, perhaps it will be able to land a single shot. There it goes! I didn't even see the shell. Let's assume it hit, because we probably wouldn't see it anyway in terms of the damage. Oh, that time I saw the shell, and yep, there is the corpse. The scattered corpse of the small Marauder. The way too much Marauder goes on through. Next up, we have the Battle Marauder, which looks honestly terrifying. Loads of strong, simple weapons, and then some proper guns to this thing. That looks more like a proper deadly ship. Then we have the OG Marauder. This is the original design, or at least I believe this was the very original design. It's definitely sparking a memory of mine, or perhaps I'm just going mad. Again, I think this is definitely heavily favouring one side. I mean, it's trying. Just an utter bombardment there from the battle. Now the mine guns on top. Yep, they're not doing all that much damage per hit, but way too many hits. The OG has been completely obliterated. Its main weapon is already damaged beyond repair, and most of its side is gone. Its AI, though, very safe at the moment. I believe it's like right in the core there. But still, a clear victory here from the battle. And 2 damaged. 100% health, a perfect victory. Next up is the Hot Rauder and the Mecha Marauder. One I definitely didn't check out earlier, now I think about it. Well, that's the Hot Rauder, and well, yeah, that is phenomenal. Oh, that's the supercharger, isn't it? It's just being used in a mimic, so it's huge. That is really amazing. The Mecha Marauder there being very, very happy and not quite sure what is different to this than the regular version. I guess we'll find out during combat. Some of the changes are definitely more noticeable as soon as combat arrives. Not noticing too much different on the inside, honestly. Maybe I'm blind. Oh, well, that makes sense of its name. So, the battle has just started, and the Mecha Marauder is absolutely beautiful. Oh my god, that is terrifying. And then it flipped onto its back. Is this intentional? I think it might be. It's really quite hard to tell. Nope, that's, well, that was odd, to say the least. This is going to be quite a close fight, but at least this main weapon's on a turret, so it is likely to hit. So, what I think it's trying to do is aim all of its guns at once, but it is, really struggling to keep balance. Oh god, that even... well, that is amazing. Definitely some of the more interesting designs we've seen so far. Well, I think the Mecha Marauder will be the victor here. I'm tempted to try and spawn this in again, because that was just amazing to watch. But with the... with this one completely flipped and not able to fight, I think we're going to give the victory before I'm here for way too long watching this. Well done to the Mecha Marauder, also on its back. A fitting fight there. Oh, that's what's causing the damage. It was shooting itself. That is something the Mecha Marauder was doing in the regular fight as well. I just thought the damage was coming from the Hot Rod, but apparently not. It is hurting itself. Don't think the flipping was intentional. But still. So many spin blocks on spin blocks. That is just insanity to me. Next up, we have the Marauder and the Stubby Marauder. Now, this is either going to be ice or a machine gun. So here's the Stubby. I actually love how that looks. So it looks like the center has just been completely removed and then more simple weapons added. Yeah, I really like that. And then, what is going to be special about you? I'm thinking, yep, that's going to be a rapid-fire gun, isn't it? It's just... oh, yeah, it is. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. Well, that's going to be a little bit insane. For those wondering how I'm spawning these in, essentially I'm just using the east and west spawn location and setting them to different factions. Now, there is also the Lost Hour Watches, which is obviously a change from the Onyx Watches, but I haven't seen any difference in any of their designs. I might be missing something there, so if there is a difference, someone tell me. I am really looking forward to this, I've got to be honest. Oh no, don't you dare shoot off those barrels before it fires! A bit of favoritism here by me, but still. Yeah, there we go. Wonderful. Just loads of explosions. And now its name makes sense. I just read it as burr, like cold. Nothing cold about that. That was fantastic. Next up, the glass cannon and the mouth. Now this may look mostly normal, but hopefully this will get to showcase why it's called the Mouth Marauder in the combat to come. And then we have the glass cannon, which, unsurprisingly, is a marauder made primarily of glass. Which is so weird. Glass can be so see-through in this game. And I think that's just what, yeah, that is just one massive cram cannon all the way down the spine. Why did I go inside to look when I can see through it? I don't know, it's instinct. I think this one will win, unless this one gets close enough. Well, let's have the fight. This first shot is going to do so much damage. Oh, the Marauder is getting a bit stuck there with its own controls. Not quite sure what's going on there, and here's the shot. Oh, that was painful. Not sure what's going wrong there. Seems like pitch is a serious issue at the moment. Well, I think this fight is already over, sadly. Oh my god, the amount of damage. Okay, I'm going to look away now because that'll be a bit of a spoiler. So what we're going to do is we're going to allow revenge for the Mouth Marauder by spawning in a second one, but of course, this does mean that the glass has gone through. This time allowing the Mouth Marauder to spawn in a lot closer, and yep, there it is. Definitely one of the most creative designs I've seen in a while, and absolutely freaking horrifying. But it gets worse. Of course it has a tongue of death. So there we go. Breaking itself on the rams of the glass marauder anyway. Looks phenomenal. Oh god, it keeps on going. Looks phenomenal and absolutely nightmare fuelish. But sadly, not going through. Even now, I think it has perhaps lost. Still, though, a truly fantastic design and looks absolutely wonderful. To the creator, well done. I love the April 1st updates. Okay, this one needs to be spawned by itself. The Disco Marauder. I don't know how loud that is for you, but I am now deaf. Yep, my ears are gone. I don't know how well this is going to do in combat, but my god, it is really living up to its name, and that is fantastic. Gonna turn down the volume now. And this will be versus the Twin Marauder. Quite a simple idea, and actually really well done, actually. Well, they could have done this a lot lazier, just sticking them together. Oh, please stop fighting. But here we are, we have cannons, more cannons, which will look really nice in my opinion, all strapped to two hulls, which are of course Marauders. Disco Marauder, go away for a second, thank you very much, and now we'll get ready for the fight. Twin versus Disco, the Disco slowly turning, will it survive long enough? I want to see if this will do any damage, I really doubt it. First of all, the accuracy is horrendous, secondly, I can't imagine that's running on too much power. Oh, never mind, it managed to take out one of the weapons straight away. What did you do? You've turned off like half of this vehicle. With sheer annoyance. That is actually doing a little bit of damage, but yeah, the lack of accuracy. I have no idea what's happened there, just half of the ship has turned off. But I think the main weapon has been, yep, taken out now, and it has no other ways really to fight back. It's just, it's going out in a blaze of glory. No idea what happened there. But yep, the victory goes to the twin. And I'm never spawning in the Disco one again. Fantastic design, done fantastically. However, I never want to see it. Ever again. Or hear it. Next up, the Marauder Home and the Cargo Marauder. I'm assuming this is the cargo. Yes, indeed it is. As you can probably tell by the cargo. That should have been more of a hint for me. I mean, it's what you'd expect from a cargo ship. Does it actually have weapons? Not that I can see. Oh dear. And then we have the Marauder Home, which I absolutely love the look of. I love this asymmetrical style, like a proper construction vehicle. Wow, yeah, I really like that. It's not as extreme as some of the other designs, but yeah, just really, really love how that looks. One day, I'll be able to build semi-decently and actually make things look like how I want them to look, but until then, I can just be amazed at everyone else. Lots of multicolored shots there hitting the cargo, which, it seems I was correct, doesn't actually have weapons. Also, I think I just heard one of the engines overheat. Oh dear. The accuracy of these Marauders has a lot to be desired. Even the missiles don't want to hit at the moment. A slow victory, but a victory nonetheless. Oh, it's a shame the cargo is not set to try and ram the enemy, because that would have gave it a small chance, but no, eventually the cargo will lose. It'll just take a very, very long time by the looks of things. Once again, though, absolutely adore this design. And so, the mother moves on. The mother, the home. Mommy? Next up, the Jet Marauder and the Amphibious Marauder. Whoa, okay, so... Okay, thanks for the pointers there, game. First of all, the Jet Marauder is covered in spikes. Please say this is a true ramming vehicle. It very well could be, otherwise that's going to just be weird. Does it ever go in the water? Yes, it does. Okay, so I think it's hydrofoil? Yes, it is. Love that. And then we have the Amphibious Marauder with all of its little children. Oh, it's the Marauder from the Ashes of the Empire campaign, which is normally called the Land Marauder. So they've brought it back to the water, calling it Amphibious, and keeping it looking like the Land Marauder version. That is genius. And once again, I love it. I'm just filled with love today, you know? Absolutely adore that. And lots of little children to help it out. We'll see how effective the ramming is on this, but I really think the Amphibious Marauder is going to take this. Even if it does get destroyed, all of the angry children will seek vengeance. Or perhaps I'll be completely wrong. That happens sometimes. Like 90% of the time. The fight begins. Lots and lots of missed shots there. The jet being very difficult to track down. And apparently its turning is a little bit all over the place. I might need to bring this one into the normal arena rather than just spawning them how I've been spawning them, because this thing clearly needs to be pointing the enemy to function. Because that turning is, well, not quite enough. Although, these are the rules here, so I just want to see it hit something, to be perfectly honest. You'd think these turrets would be able to turn more. Or perhaps it's a range problem. Yeah, they're just circling each other, slowly dealing damage to the jet. I have seen, yep, there we go, the odd block be destroyed. So by the looks of things, eventually, the Amphibious will be victorious here. And one day, I'll be able to talk like a normal human. That day is not today. Likely not next week either. Oh, I think the fuel may have gone, or some damage was dealt to the jets. But now it's a sitting target, and yep, all the little babies are also being able to hit. And now the Amphibious, just to rub it in, is trying to ram the ramming vehicle. Oh yeah, it's a ramming vehicle itself, I keep forgetting that. Although now I think it might be going to space. Its people need it. That is a weird image. Oh, that's, yeah, that does look quite interesting, doesn't it? That's all I'm gonna say. I just want to see it crash back into the water. This is such a silly fight again. Once again, I adore the April 1st designs. Well, the victory goes to the amphibious, though be right back. I am going to have a little revenge match, just because I do want to see it effectively hit the enemy. After that, we do have an interesting design, which is, well, I'm tempted to exclude it from these fights, because, oh my god, it actually managed to hit something, and it died to the ramps. The point I was making is the next one is so powerful, it might not be fun to bring into the championship. I might just have it at the end, just to show its power level. Be right back with the grudge match. I'm not quite sure how it managed to damage the back there, but yep, that was it. And the AI is now dead. A lot of fun, but I think this is a very bad matchup, considering the front of this is just rams and spikes and pain. So apparently there's an inside joke here. So this is a ship from the Steel Striders. It is one of their most terrifying ships. And if you try and summon it in at the moment, you summon this fellow. I love this. I don't know the joke behind it, but I do kind of adore it. I do know, however, that this thing does have a nuke attached to it somewhere. Right there. So, the reason I wanted to summon it in is because the final version of the Marauders is basically that craft, but with Marauders attached to it. It's a 1 million material, 50,000 volume ship. So I'm going to exclude this from the Marauder battles purely because, well, it's just one of the Steel Strider's most terrifying vehicles. Now, I'm not very familiar with this, to be perfectly honest, so I don't know how much has been changed, if anything, outside of the Marauders attached. All I know is, wow, that thing scares me. So I'm going to just remove that from existence, and let's pretend we didn't see that until the end. So then next we have the Submarine and we have a few of the others. So the next two will be the Sub versus the Ravager. Oh, this is not going to be fair. Okay, so the Sub is a melee vehicle. Didn't think about that. I might just have this fight one of them from the original set, because, yeah, that's a bit unfair. Well, originally that would have fought that huge ship, so we could also perhaps just classify it as a lost cause and just give it a regular fight, perhaps versus one of the original Marauders, just to see it in action. Actually, that's exactly what we'll do. We'll fight it against the original winner, which was the regular Marauder, and we'll see which one of those goes through. That's how I'm going to do it, because apparently I'm just not a very fair person and didn't think ahead. Mostly the latter. And so, here we go. Is that just a drill? It's all going to be a matter of if this one can hit it in time. It seems confused about its existence. What just happened? Oh, it does still have a cannon, okay. I didn't expect it to still have a cannon for some reason. That really confused me. Have you finished contemplating your existence yet? The answer is no. So it looks like the Sub is going to go through in place of the original Marauder, who decided it just didn't want to aim at the enemy today. Possibly because it's a Sub, although our detection systems are off during these tests, so everything can see everything else. That was more effective than I expected. It's like it's force pushing it. Are they just perfectly synced? Some of these fights have been very, very weird. Just changing the original Marauder for the sub in my notes. There we go. Since the original's lost its weapon, it's definitely lost. Eventually, I assume the sub will win this. An odd one, to say the least. Let's try this again. The Ravager will be versus the Heli-Marauder. So let's have a quick look see at the Heli-Marauder before we send it into combat. Yep, those are definitely Hella blades on pistons, which are morphing through the hull. Wait, what? I assume they activate in combat then. Oh, okay, it's also got the main ones inside as well, which are probably going to give it its main altitude. Okay, then. So, the Heli-Marauder on the west, Heli-Marauder, rather, versus, in the east, the Ravager. Which, I have to say, looks awesome. Oof. Oh, yep, there it goes, straight into the air. Well, it's definitely looking like the original one. I love the fact it looks like it's being flew on just those two. Doing a bit of an odd long turn there. Oh, that was actually surprisingly close. Side weapons firing, main weapons firing again. Looks like the Heli-Marauder has lost some armor, but not much else. There it goes again, firing away. Will the Heli manage to get a hit? Oh, I think it's back in the water already, and once again, so very close. But yep, the victory goes to the Ravager. I'll officially say that as soon as the weapon's offline. You never know, maybe you'll get one hit, a huge chain reaction will occur, and the underdog will take it. Maybe. This might be the very last chance. And a dodge. Sadly not then. Yeah, the weapon is now offline. I love how silly that looks, but sadly, it was knocked out. We have the Singularity and the Aero-Marauder next, which I believe is it. Yep, that is it. These are the last two. Now, if this is what I think it is based on the name, it's going to be based on the Singularity, and if it doesn't teleport, I'm going to be so disappointed. I've got to be perfectly honest. For those who don't know, the Singularity is a ship which is able to teleport around. Well, it's a thruster craft, I believe, and it is an absolute nightmare. It stays away from you, it bounces around to dodge your shells and missiles and everything else, and ultimately is a really bad time to try and deal with. This is a Singularity, which is very expensive, so I can only assume that it's going to be something similar. Okay, so straight away what I'm seeing is lots of railgun stuff for the weapon, so this is going to be a very nasty weapon indeed. It's taking up a lot of the space. It definitely has lasers of some kind. It looks like perhaps just anti-munition lasers. I don't know if it can teleport, but it's definitely got a nasty weapon there and a lot of munition defense. The other Marauder, the Aero-Marauder, has a dashing chap there, the dashing hat being dashing. A regular cram cannon, and clearly the ability to fly fairly quickly. Will it have enough firepower to take out the Singularity? Certainly flies well. Okay, so it turns out the Aero-Marauder does have some side weapons which are causing some problems, and I've noticed a problem as well. The Singularity can't aim up. Oh dear, a terrible matchup from the look of it. Oh, and there we go, it can indeed teleport with some weird looks coming from the spin block at the back. I don't think it's fast enough to get far enough away that this is ever going to work. In fact, I don't think that would work even if it did get further away. What a shame. Oh dear, a huge chunk already been taken out there. Some heavy armor in the core. But it does seem like it's not going to be able to fire. Oh, maybe it will. Now it's rocking around. Unintentional side effect might end up helping it out quite a lot. If it can't fire at all, we will send it against one of the ground forces just to see it in action. because this is very, very unfair. But this is an April 1st tournament. It's not exactly meant to be taken that seriously. No, even at that distance of it moving around, seems like the victory will be you. And now it's reconverting into a normal Marauder. A less buoyant one because of all the heavy armor, I suppose. A potential problem with me not completely looking at all of them before, so I have my first reactions, is sometimes things like this might happen in the matchups. I will consider bringing it in to fight something else, but yeah. The matchups are random, well, from just their positioning, and that can happen. Let's have a fight with it versus one of the ground forces. And by ground, I mean water. The original Marauder. Oh, that is nasty. Yep, that is a nasty railgun on the front there. And so that was the damage potential then of the Singularity. That goes really far away. Yeah, what a shame that matchup was just so not in its favour. I do kind of want to see the point defense in action, I've got to be honest. So then, let's summon in the way too much Marauder, since I'll be able to fire lots of crams. Oh, can you please stop firing at that? That would be fantastic. Actually, never mind. You can keep on firing. Will it be able to stop 3 cram shells? I imagine it probably can. Now it's facing it more directly. Oh, it dodged and took out a couple. That was wonderful. Yeah, this would have definitely taken out this particular enemy. At least I assume so if he can keep that up for long enough. Because the damage, although fantastic per shot, is not dealing with them very quickly. So it's going to have to be able to stay in the air for this amount of time. Still, a really, really fantastic design. The Singularity is just an amazing thing, which is far beyond me, and apparently, so is this Marauder. Kind of glad it's not in the race now, because now I feel less bad, because I don't have to see it again for a while. Any of them which use the cram shells are definitely going to lose to this. However, those with lots of smaller weapons, which seem to get through, might have won anyway, so that is something to note. Well, I can't fight them based on preference or anything, so it just happened how it happened. I do apologise for that. It is a really fantastic design, and probably would have been much higher up on our list if I fought them in a different order. Mech versus the Battle Marauder. Oh look, this time it didn't go flying backwards. Well, definitely showing a better side of itself this time. I think it's because it lost some of its propulsion straight away, so it didn't go flying into the air. That is so much better. Now we can see exactly how it should have been fighting. Well, it won its last fight, and now it's doing this in this fight, so that is fantastic. Sadly, though, despite it being a much better position this time, and doing some jazz hands there, it looks like the battle is going to win this one. Again, I think this is my favourite to win the entire thing. It is definitely the more combat savvy of all of them. Outside of the final one, which we've disqualified. I was close to disqualifying this one because it is just so combat-y. But there we go. The machine gun versus the glass Marauder. The glass cannon. Don't throw stones in a glass house versus throwing many, many bullets. Well, shooting. Oh my word. The glass cannon managed to destroy the weapon as... Oh no, I was about to say the glass cannon's weapon was also turned off, but that is not the case. What a perfect first shot. I did not expect that, and yep, there we go. It managed to disable the weapon before it took critical damage itself, and ultimately was the victor. The cram cannon is definitely damaged, but somehow functional. Look at that. Where is the local weapon control? It must be underneath. Like right here. Yep, there it is. It's damaged as well. That was ridiculously close to being our first draw, but no. The glass cannon is the victor. Didn't expect that. Well done. This is why best 2 out of 3 might be best, since sometimes luck will happen, but I don't have time for that. This is already taking, actually, hours. Fun hours, but hours nonetheless. Twin versus home. First cram shots there, narrowly missing. The multicolored shots are hitting the target, but not doing all that much damage, as are the missiles. Oh, looks like a lot of the innards just went away then, although one of their major cram shots has hit the twins. Sadly, not doing all that much. Missiles again. This time doing a great deal more than they have done in the past. But it still seems like the twin is going to be the victor out of these two. This time with half it not randomly turning off at the very start of the fight. A slow fight. Potentially, the home could still win this. With its cram shots, if it gets very lucky, it could take out one of the sides, similar to what we've seen in the previous fight, and then just slowly weather it away. It's all about how fast the twin is going to break down the mother's defenses, I said it again, the home's defenses! And its main weapons. A weirdly long delay there, because my brain is still loading. It's been loading for many years, and crashed several times. Oh, one shell going right inside there. Yep, I think that is pretty much it. The main weapon is disabled, the missiles are disabled, and it's not even firing anymore, so I assume its ammo has also been destroyed. The home has lost, the twin takes it. Yep, 2 damage, there we go. Ravager versus the amphibious marauder and its children. Some anti-air fire there straight away, which is great. Sadly though, the children can't seem to get in range to help the fight. It seems like the Ravager really likes turning away every time the fight starts. Is it trying to get to a certain range, or I'm not quite sure what the AI is trying to do there. He was doing it in the previous fight as well. Oh, its jet is still online, though it does seem to be slowing down somewhat. What are you doing? Don't just keep on running. Direct hit, and the backside is mostly gone. Yeah, it seems like it's trying to get to a certain range before it tries to turn and attack. The problem is, the amphibious is basically keeping up. And it's quickly removing the ability for the Ravager to run away. Or at very least, it's removing everything. The children not particularly being useful there. Oh, it's trying to aim. Will it be able to fire? Oh, at the children! Yes, it will be able to. Doing a little bit of damage to one of them, but a lot of missed shots there. Finally turning and firing on the amphibious. Making it bounce a bit, but not doing that much damage. It is definitely range, as now it's going back to try to run. This is going to be a long fight. Leaning heavily at this point. Taking out some of the advanced cannons, at least one of them has been critically damaged. Not sure about the next. Looks like it's fine, actually. I mean, it's getting lighter, so maybe it'll get faster, even though it is losing some of its propulsion. Actually, has it lost any of its propulsion? Yeah, it's lost some of its propellers there. The Deady Blades, I should say. I really do believe that if we were to fight them head-on, both facing each other and a further distance, the Ravager would have had a much better chance. But these are the rules I set at the beginning, and so those are the rules we've stuck with. The only time we broke that, of course, is with the melee submarine, because I just wanted to see it actually fight something. And if it fought the aircraft, it would have instantly lost. Maybe I shouldn't have done that, now I'm thinking back. Since the Singularity couldn't fire down either, but I think it was more of an extreme that there was a melee vehicle versus an aircraft. Finally turning around. If it somehow wins now, that would be amazing. Nope, it's trying to run away again. It's gave you so many chances. Taking so long to take this thing out of the sky. It is durable, if nothing else. That's its own cramshell. That was so close to being amazing. Oh no, it's after the children again. This is taking so long. From the sky it falls, finally getting some hits on the Marauder. I should say the amphibious Marauder, since they are all Marauders. However, I think it's going to be able to attack now. There is a very distinct possibility that somehow the Ravager wins this. Despite everything. If it hits the AI with those shells, it will win, and we've seen it is very sturdy. The amphibious Marauder seemingly has lost its main weapon. Never mind. It still has one of its main weapons. I thought it lost both. Oh, 2 damage. There we go. Almost. So close there at the end. The amphibious goes forward. Well, from that round, since we no longer have any more left, except for the Aero Marauder. I'm just going to put the Aero Marauder forward, and that way we have 6 left, which are the Aero Marauder, the Amphibian Marauder, the Twin Marauder, so many weird ones, the Glass Marauder, the Battle Marauder, and the Too Much Marauder. The Battle Marauder versus the Too Much Marauder. Since it is a broadsiding craft, it is getting an advantage here as well, since that's how they are spawning in naturally. But even then, it does still have the main weapon at the front, along with the main advanced cannons along the back, which are still able to fire forwards. And a miss, along with a bounce, and one pretty good hit there from the Too Much Marauder, taking out at least one of the main weapons. However, the unrelenting attack from the Battle Marauder continues. It's really going to come down to, can the Too Much Marauder get a critical hit even, with one of these cannons. Another fantastic hit, taking out the middle gun there. And taking out the AI. Oh, did not see that coming. Although there are some chain reactions happening here as well. Not completely de-weaponed either. One of the weapons is still technically online. Yep, it is a clear victory, amazingly, by the way Too Much Marauder, showing off the power of redundancy. I guess with the Battle Marauder, its weakness was just so much of everything crammed into so little space. Wow, okay. Did not see that. Well done, though I doubt you're going to be very good versus the aircraft, so here's hoping they get taken out for your sake. Well done. Still some chain reactions going on by the looks of things. What is going on there? I've never seen such delayed chain reactions before. The Glass now versus the Twin. Lucky for the glass there, the cram cannon's missing. However, the advanced cannon's destroying the back half, as much as it is difficult to see considering the debris is, well, see-through glass. The shot there from the glass cannon doing a substantial amount of damage, but not really hitting anything critical. I think that was its one chance. Yeah, as the shots are now hitting the front, the glass can technically fire again, but now with the barrels so small, it could potentially hurt itself. Okay, second shot. Once again, quite a bit of damage being dealt, but nothing critical. The glass cannon shattering. And so the twin moves forwards. The amphibious and its children versus the aero-marauder. We haven't really seen the aero-marauder in its full power yet since versus the Singularity. The Singularity simply couldn't shoot at it. And it seems like now we're getting a reversal of fortune. Can this not fire much further down? Seems like no. Well, that is a pretty major weakness. Something's going to fire up, something's going to fire down. I'll give it another few minutes, but if it can't fire at all, then I will say the victor is the amphibious. Purely because it's not fighting. Oh, it seems like the aero can fight back, since it does have bombs by the looks of things. It's just going after the children, and that is not a winning strategy since they're so hard to hit, and they are seemingly destroying themselves. Now, the amphibious is getting a few hits here and there. You can see them bouncing off the target. I've seen a couple of locks being destroyed, but this is truly going to take so long. And it seems like with their current AI, with them both trying to circle each other like this, it's just not possible for this to get above the amphibious. So very slowly, with tiny little bits of damage, the amphibious will likely win this. Unless something drastically changes soon. I'll give it another 5 minutes. I'll just watch and see what happens. Oh, will these actually land? Yes, one of them did. That took about 6 minutes, by the way. It's now changed its behaviour for some reason. It now seems to be going much further away and not just circling the target. I think it got stuck in its initial run. That's the only thought I can possibly have here. So I think it will end up winning here. Which will mean it will be it versus the twin versus the too much. If it does indeed win. It may run out of fuel soon. It's using a lot of jets. Got to use his main weapon there. I mean, it missed, but at least he got to use it. Oh, wasting a couple of its shots there, trying to hit the children. Third one landing a direct hit, sadly though on the front, which is mostly just armor. That was twisting more than I expected then. Oh, something's gone horribly wrong. Not quite sure what. For some reason, it's just spinning out of control. Oh, we've lost one of the jets. But not the one I expected to see lost. Either way, though, there it is, in the water finally. And so the victor, once again, goes to the amphibious marauder. Which I think I may have called amphibian a little while back. Either way, a valiant effort, but just not sharp enough on those turns. And whittled down with tiny little hits. Yeah, seems like this one's definitely destroyed, that one's definitely destroyed. Oh, that one doesn't have the exhaust, so yep, it lost one on that side as well, so it definitely couldn't right itself. Well, that is that. Oh, there we have it. That shot was directly at the weapon of the third Marauder. No, the third Marauder's gun is still somehow alive. It just took a cram shot. These two, though, have completely lost it, and it seems like, for some reason, the amphibious let go. It's cramshell bouncing there, which is a critical problem. There is a very small chance that the Too Much Marauder will get a critical strike now. It is aiming at where the amphibious' main weapon is. Once again, the bounces. Not hit the back. I thought he was aiming here, but clearly not. Oh, there it goes. 2 damaged. The amphibious moves forward. The finale, the twin versus the amphibious. Before the fight starts, I would like everyone to go to the comment section and tell me which one you think is going to win. Because I personally can't quite decide. The twin has more weapons and has the potential of doing more critical damage, but this one does have the children which do a little bit of damage, and it has time and time again won where I thought it was going to lose. Also, if it rams the target, it's going to have some serious problems. Do you know what would have been good? If I set them to the correct sides. Clearly, they are both currently on the same side. Let's try that again. Try number 2. This time, straight into the fight. Cramshell's doing nothing there to the amphibious. The amphibious following up with doing nothing to the enemy, although some of its smaller weapons seem to have taken out one of the turrets and once again completely offlined one of the enemy's sides. What is going on there? I don't know how this gun being taken out is so consistently causing so many problems. I really don't understand at all. Must be a chain reaction or something. I'm just amazed that it's taking out all of those without taking out an actual AI. Maybe it's damaging a receiver or something. I don't really know. And there we go. My game crawling to a halt. Ow. As the amphibious rams the enemy. Even the kids getting in on the action, doing some damage. Well done. Is that ever going to fire, or is there a problem here? Okay. Seems like the problem is, though, the amphibious can't fire its main gun right now. This may take a while. Yet again, I've said that way too much today. Yeah, both the amphibious... Oh, AIs are online. It just fired. I saw a few bounces. Not all that much really happened. Just lots of fire and smoke. Looks like the twin may have this. It all depends on if the amphibious can actually do some damage with those shells. The shells seem to be outright bouncing or missing every time. The little gun is slowly wearing this down, though. It might take out that main turret. I still have no idea what keeps happening over here. Oh, that should not be aiming there. What's going on there? Oh, a chain reaction on the back there. One of the turrets has been taken out, I think, potentially, by the children. What are you doing? I am so confused right now. Yeah, still has both of the AIs. Just shaking its head in confusion. That's what's going on right now. The healing that's happening, by the way, is just the... Ooh, the amphibious healing the children when they get close enough. Well, this is weird. Oh, looks like the rams from the twin are now doing a lot of damage to the amphibious. using its own weapon against it. Oh, 2 damage. The amphibious is about to go away. One last shot. Actually doing damage this time. Doing a critical amount of damage to the center, which sadly doesn't seem to house anything actually important. I got really excited about absolutely nothing. I believe in you, little sea viper. Oh, that belief was misplaced. And so the winner is the twin. Now, of course, we have this versus the insanity, and I expect my game to just outright die at this point. Well done. 1 major gun left. Just wish I knew what happened to that one side every single fight. Well, except for 1, I think. Or maybe 2. Or maybe all of them except for 2. I'm tired. The twin there having a well-deserved rest. Yep. Yep. Just yep. Well, there went most of it straight away. The rapid fire absolutely devastating the enemy. Well, it lasted longer than expected, but now 2 damaged, the twin is defeated. So technically speaking, this is the winner, but that's not a surprise. The winner of our hearts is the Twin Marauder. This was a ridiculous amount of fun to record, and I really do hope you've enjoyed as well. So with that, thank you so much for watching. If you have enjoyed today's video, then of course, likes, favourites, shares, comments, all that good stuff helps out me, helps out the channel, and most importantly, shows that From the Depths is a series you wish to see continued in the future. The campaign will be coming very soon once the dev test reaches the stable branch, and I am tempted to start an adventure run very soon. So here's to our victor, the Twin Marauder. Which I really, really like. Thank you again for watching, and goodbye.